This movie looks so freaking good. When you actually see a real live action human character, you're like, that looks so unrealistic. Get out of here. Avatar: The Way of Water is a movie you should see because on a technical level, you don't see these movies every day. Like, it's probably the best visual movie of all time. Do what I did. Find the biggest screen you can, and it's gonna be an experience unlike any other. 3D. Doesn't 3D suck? The last movie I saw in 3D was Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Trust me, this is not gimmicky 3D. This is really good stuff. It's not so concerned with like pointing things at the camera. It's more so concerned with just immersing you further into the world. It feels like the dust of the movie is the dust around you, that bugs are flying around you, that those God rays are like shining in your eyeballs. They're blinding you. You gotta throw on some shades. Like, there was one time where a bug flew across the screen in Pandora and I almost like took a swat. It looked that good. It deserves to be seen for those reasons. Like, just that should be enough. And if you're thinking like, oh, I'll just wait and I'll rent it. No, stop. If you were to ever watch this movie on your phone, just like underneath your sheets, I think James Cameron himself, he'd probably hunt you down. Let's talk about the potatoes of this thing, the story. The first thing that comes to mind with this movie's story is that it feels familiar, but also different. As someone who's fairly familiar with the first film, I fell instantly back into the world of Pandora and Jake and Neytiri. It was almost like catching up with old friends, and I think it made me appreciate those characters a lot more because I didn't need a big refresher. I didn't need some big thing to have me buy back into Jake and Neytiri as characters. I was a little shocked that main couple from the first film, they're not the main characters, but it's a solely family production. They are just as important as their kids. And I know that might sound whack if you've been burned from like, oh, let's push out the old characters and bring in the new ones. But I really like their kids. And them and their parents, everyone gets a chance to shine. That might be part of why the movie is like so dang long, because there are a lot of characters and they all get arcs. They all get moments to flesh them out. Speaking of the length, it's over 3 hours, one of the longest movies I've seen probably since The Irishman, but it's paced probably about as good as it could have been. I was watching it for a while, and at one point, I was like, how long have I been here? Has it been 20 minutes, 2 hours, 2 days? Who knows? It's long, and by the time it ends, you're like, yeah, that was long. But when you're actually watching it, it doesn't really feel like that. It's pretty much always entertaining, and there's not one scene that sticks out as like, you could have taken that out. And I think that's a good feat. Stephen Lang is back as the villain, except he's different. And honestly, I thought he was pretty cool. He's not like the greatest villain of all time or anything, but he's interesting. And there is a lot of complex things going on with this character that will keep you thinking and engaged with him. Another thing this movie does that really well is just further immersing you into the lore of Pandora, and it's just as interesting as the first film. We get some new fish, we get some new tribe, new locations, new mystical dancing tree things. Like, I kind of get the whole post-Pandora depression thing. Not that I feel it, but like, I get it. The action is incredible. The third act of this movie, the action goes hard. Some people are hating on this movie, and just stop it. People that say this movie is like bad, I think they're just saying it because it's so hyped up and because it's Avatar. That, or it's like the Marvel fanboys who don't want it to pass all the milestones. And of course, there are some things that didn't really land with me personally. In my opinion, I think while this movie is always entertaining, sometimes it lacks the focus that Avatar 1 did. Like, Avatar 1, you know what it's about. It's a simple yet effective story. Avatar 2 is kind of like, yeah, so pretty much Jake and his family, they're being hunted by some remaining humans from the first one who they want revenge for betraying him. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And then this kid's gotta train a whale. Like I said, it's entertaining. You just have to stick with it for the entire movie for some of these things to pay off. Not much else though. I could probably think of some more things that I didn't like, some more criticisms, but I'd just be I'd just be looking for things at that point, and I'm not really about that. There are gonna be people that whine and say, oh yeah, it looks good, but like the story's mid. But I think some people tend to confuse movie reviews with story reviews. Even if you don't like the story, the visuals are too good for it to be a bad movie. That's just how I see it, okay? I'm gonna give Avatar the score of you better friggin' go watch it in an IMAX theater, okay? Not on your phone, or me and Jim are coming after you. We'll find you.